Something strange is going on. Jim Carrey recently showed up looking different in Paris. Very different.
Bonjour. Bonjour. How are you? Oh, it's a wonderful feeling. I really took on a pretty big challenge trying to do my speech in French.
After this footage dropped, social media exploded. People weren't just talking about his award. They were asking one wild question. What happened to Jim Carrey? Is that even Jim Carrey? Many people believe that it was a clone. And now, with Katt Williams speaking out about Hollywood secrets, some fans are taking things even further. They're saying this proves something bigger is going on.
Researched my whole life on what the entity was before I got there, My intention was to get in there, kick up some dust, and try to become a whistleblower that they don't knock off. Because, they get all the whistleblowers.
Jim showed up at the 51st César Awards to receive an honorary award for his lifetime in movies. That's a huge deal. He even gave part of his speech in French, but nobody online cared about the speech. They were focused on him, the way he looked, the way he talked, the way he moved. All of it seemed unnatural.
There is a huge conspiracy theory about beloved Hollywood actor Jim Carrey right now because people are saying he's acting and looking very different. Did the Illuminati finally get their loudest whistleblower and clone him, thus silencing him? This is like two conspiracy theories in one, so here's everything you need to know.
I'm here tonight to blow the lid off it, to be the whistleblower.
So yesterday, 64-year-old Jim Carrey received a César Award in Paris, which is like a French Oscar. And he was just suspiciously acting out of character for the iconic Jim Carrey personality. And longtime fans also noticed he looked younger or very different. And for a lot of actors in Hollywood, that's the norm. He's 64. I support people getting work done. But a lot of conspiracy theorists who are really just diehard fans say normally Jim Carrey would never do this. His whole brand is drastically changing his facial expressions and melding his face into whatever he needs to do for his role. It's just the last person you would ever expect to do that. But what's really freaking people out and driving home the conspiracy theory is that his eyes are a completely different color now. They are green, but they used to be very obviously brown. Is it him? Is someone new under the mask? And Jim Carrey is infamous for his whole career long time giving very powerful speeches against government corruption, against capitalism, against those in power.
Some people said he didn't seem like himself. Others said he looked completely different. A few even claimed he had been replaced. And yes, the word clone started trending. When clips from the red carpet hit the internet, fans began comparing them to older interviews. They pointed to his eyes, saying they looked more blue than brown. They said his jawline looked different, his teeth looked different, even his voice sounded softer and slower. One person wrote, "There's no way in hell that was Jim Carrey." Another said that "I'm dead" was super cryptic and dark. Someone else said, "They're testing us one last time if they can get away with it like Joe Biden." The theories got wilder from there. Some believe the real Jim stepped away from Hollywood years ago, around 2017. Others say he knew too much and started speaking out about how fake the industry is. And that part isn't made up. Jim has openly criticized Hollywood before. He has openly criticized the government and all the alleged criminals running it before.
He criticized capitalism without a conscience. And that's what we have now. We have capitalism without a conscience. He showed the common man being fed through gears of the brutal, dehumanizing industrial age. He took on the American right wing of his day, its worst evils: hatred of immigrants, contempt for the truth, greed, and the abuse of power. We are fighting those same evils today. In America, in the United Kingdom, across the globe. And we need to be clear, shamelessness is not and will never be a superpower. It is the mark of a villain. Children is not what great nations do. Almost half of America at this moment believes there is a sinister deep state diabolically plotting to what? Give them health care? What is the sinister plan here? Sure, I can afford the miracle drug for restless leg syndrome. I should take the pills, I guess. We in America are misinformed. Reality shows have warped our idea of what a hero is, or what the truth is.
Remember that famous red carpet interview where he said none of this is real? Where he told a reporter he doesn't believe in personalities and that we don't matter? That clip went viral years ago.
Tell me, is it true you're wandering the streets? You need a date to the party? What's up?
No. I'm doing just fine. There's no meaning to any of this. So I wanted to find the most meaningless thing that I could come to and join, and here I am.
They're celebrating.
I mean, you got to admit it's completely meaningless.
Well, they say they're celebrating icons inside.
Celebrating
Do you believe
icons.
in
Boy, that is just the absolute lowest aiming, possibility that we could come up with. It's like icons. Do you believe in icons? I don't believe in personalities. I don't believe that you exist, but there is a wonderful fragrance in the air.
You don't believe certain icons have the power to make change, to think differently, to be bold, to inspire others? Artistry? You're one of them.
On the good foot. Ha! Yeah. You shut her down now. Yeah, no, I don't believe in icons. I don't believe in personalities. I believe that peace lies beyond personality, beyond invention and disguise, beyond the red S that you wear on your chest that makes bullets bounce off. I believe that it's deeper than that. I believe we're a field of energy dancing for itself. And I don't care.
But Jim, you got really dressed up for the occasion. You look good.
No, I didn't. Was
that an
get dressed
accident?
up. I didn't get dressed up.
Who did?
There is no me.
There's no you.
No.
He sounded deep, philosophical, almost like he had pulled back the curtain on something. Back then, people said he was just being spiritual. Others said he had seen the dark side of fame. Now, fast forward to Paris. Fans say this version of Jim seemed excited to play the part again, smiling, joking, acting like everything was normal. Did something suddenly change? Could Jim have changed his deep-rooted convictions overnight? Critics online say it didn't feel natural, that it's not possible for this to be Jim. Some even compared the situation to other celebrity clone theories that have floated around the internet. Kid Boo once claimed that there exists a cloning facility in the US and that he himself was a clone that managed to escape that place.
Okay, and what nationality are you?
Sicilian and Puerto Rican.
Okay, Sicilian and Puerto Rican. Okay,
yeah,
I can see that now.
Those are my two genomes.
Okay, so who's the Puerto Rican one, who's the Sicilian one?
When I was cloned, they wiped a lot of memory, but when I stole the documents before escaping, I read that the mother was Puerto Rican and the father's surrogate, you could say, was the sperm donor was Sicilian.
Okay, so you were a test tube baby?
Yeah.
What's that?
Shout out CLONED.
Yeah. Well, you could actually, as soon as you die, they could actually freeze your body.
Well, what happened with my first gen is they took the skull, because he initially had written in a will to the Railing movement that if something were to happen to him, they can ship the skull over immediately to CLONED. So they can remove a fragment of bone that's located here. And in this fragment of bone, it stores all of your memories and consciousness. And with that, they can make a sufficient replica of yourself, a reproductive version of you, including your memories. And you can be selective as to which ones you keep or don't keep. This process has been around for quite some time. Like Dolly the sheep was cloned back in, I think, the late 70s, early 80s, if I'm not mistaken.
Dolly the sheep, yeah, I remember that. And they've cloned a lot of animals over the years.
Yeah, CLONED, I don't want to say too much information. This is going to be broadcasted on the internet.
But I don't think they can transfer the actual memories, though.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You're living proof of this?
Yeah, I'm living proof. Except for all the memories. A lot of them I don't have because of drugs and alcohol as a teenager. So it's kind of like burning an MP3 CD, right? So let's say, we don't do this, people don't do this anymore, but back in the day, you would bootleg a CD, you would need the original copy. You put it in, it reads the disc, transfers all the files. You have the same exact CD, it's the same thing. All the tracks, everything, every bar, every hit from every note, everything's gonna be on there. Now, if I scratch that CD, I may not be able to read all the files on the disc, making it impossible to transfer and make a new one, a new copy.
To be fair, people change. Jim is older now. Faces age, voices shift. Lighting can make eyes look different. And yes, celebrities sometimes get cosmetic procedures. But that hasn't stopped the speculation. Supporters of the clone theory say the biggest clue isn't his face, it's his energy. They say the old Jim was wild, loud, unpredictable. The man from The Mask and The Truman Show had a certain spark in his eyes. Many people have speculated that this isn't Jim at all, that the real Jim was taken out a long time ago for speaking out against the powers in the shadows. One key piece of evidence here is the tragic death of Jim's former girlfriend years ago, with many believing she was taken out in order to send a message to Jim.
Jim Carrey was devastated last September when his 30-year-old girlfriend killed herself. Now, 10 months after the funeral for makeup artist Katrina White, the just-released autopsy report details her final days. She left a suicide note for Carrey. They had broken up the week before. I've spent 3 days now in disbelief that you're not here. I can go on brokenhearted and try to put the pieces back. I could, I just don't have the will this time.
She had not been seen in 4 days at that point. The last person she'd spoken to, it's believed, is Jim Carrey.
Chris Spargo is a reporter with thedailymail.com, which obtained the autopsy report.
Jim Carrey texted her the night before, saying that he was actually missing a bunch of pills from his medicine cabinet, asking if she had them, but there was no response.
The toxicology report says she had multiple drugs in her system, including pain medication prescribed to an Arthur King, who is believed to be an alias used by Carrey, according to published reports.
She had obtained 3 bottles of pills from someone under an alias. It's believed it was possibly Jim Carrey.
Carrey last spoke to Katrina White via FaceTime for 3 minutes. Her body was found 4 days later in her rented home in Los Angeles. In her note, Katrina left the funeral arrangements up to Carrey.
We know they called Jim Carrey first when they found her body after finding her cell phone, before they even called her family. So he obviously was incredibly torn up about this, but he really was there in the aftermath.
She ended her note to Carrey saying, "Please forgive me. I am just not for this world." She signed it, Dewdrop, the pet name given to her by Jim Carrey.
It has, unsurprisingly, been reported that he was threatened, that he was given a choice, that something happened behind the scenes. Then there's one of his most popular rants ever, the one where Jim grabbed attention by talking about secret symbols and mocking tongues, the one where he joked about talk show hosts distracting the public. He sounded half serious, half sarcastic. He mentioned secret meetings in the woods.
You don't know what it is. You don't know what that is.
I have no idea.
You don't know. Jimmy Fallon doesn't know. David Letterman doesn't know.
We don't know.
All the comics and show business don't know what this is. Right? Yeah.
What is it?
Come on, Jimmy. Seriously, the time is up. People are hip to this kind of stuff. I'm here tonight to blow the lid off it, to be the whistleblower. I'm sick and tired of the secrets and the lies. It is the secret symbol of the Illuminati, and you're a part of it, and it is the all-mocking tongue.
Oh, I like it.
It's the symbol of the all-mocking tongue. And I'm sick of it. I want everybody to be in on the joke, man. You know what I mean? For years now, talk show hosts, people on television, people in sitcoms have been hired by the government to throw you off the track, to distract you, to make you laugh and stuff like that, make you happy and docile so you don't know what's really going on. You know, when they get out there in the woods in a circle naked and they decide these things, and, you know, look at him trying to...
That clip is now being shared again as proof, because Jim Carrey has always blurred the line between comedy and truth. He says things in a funny way, but sometimes there's a deeper message under it. That's what makes him interesting.
I don't exist. So they're all characters that I've played, including Jim Carrey, including Joel Barish, including any of those things. They're all characters. Jim Carrey was a less intentional character because I thought I was just building something that people would like, but it was a character. I played the guy that was free from concern so that people who watched me would be free from concern.
Over the years, Jim has slowly changed. The wild man from Dumb and Dumber became quieter, more reflective, more philosophical. He started talking about ego, identity, and illusion. Still, critics point to his comments about big pharmaceutical companies years ago, when he and Jenny McCarthy questioned vaccine schedules on national television.
Today was World Autism Awareness Day. You both must be encouraged by all that's happened in this subject since you literally started it.
Yeah, we've come a long way within the community. When I first had Evan diagnosed with autism, there wasn't much of anything. I had to find out about biomedical treatment on the internet after I typed in autism on Google. And 3 years later now, there's 3 books and many thousands of children getting better because of biomedical treatment.
Jenny brought so much focus to this problem. And kind of that's why I'm here, is I want to bring as much focus as we can to this problem.
You married autism, or well, you're not married, so you live with autism.
When I invited Jenny into my life, I invited Evan into my life. And when I first met Evan, he was like he was on another planet. I wasn't in the room. There was no eye contact. There was no response to dialogue. There was no affection. And over time, I witnessed Jenny pull Evan through the window of unconsciousness and isolation into our world, where he is now a fully functioning person who can communicate, who can connect, and this is through biomedical treatments, GFCF diet, and the therapies that she's talking about. So I believe that autism, in my heart, is preventable
and treatable.
Fully functional. He's
completely recovered, Larry, completely recovered. And he's not the only one. There are thousands in this community that are getting better.
Why did you go so public? I mean, you had an autistic child. He got better. So why are you here?
I could have, hid and not said anything, and Evan would have blended into society. I made a pact with God, though. The day Evan became diagnosed with autism, I said, if you show me the way, God, and show me how to heal my boy, I will continue to teach the world how I did it. And within 1 year of that kind of conversation with God, Evan was undiagnosed from autism.
But it's still shocking to see how many people are ignoring this information.
The American Academy of Pediatrics, I begged and have sat down with and said, why are you not sitting down with our doctors and our scientists who are treating and recovering children with autism? And they refuse to this day to sit down.
I think if there was any possibility that a child was being helped, that someone would listen, someone would take a look. And the fact is, they're not even considering the information. They're not only not considering, they're discouraging it.
That brought massive backlash, headlines, criticism, heated debates. After that, he seemed to step back from those topics. Some fans say he was silenced. And you know who else was also almost silenced? Katt Williams. Meanwhile, late-night shows like Jimmy Kimmel Live continued diving deeper into political comedy. Hosts mocking politicians, politicians mocking hosts. The crowd cheering for their side, that's where some people connect the dots. They believe Jim and Katt were criticizing the entire system of distraction, not just one host. The idea that we stay divided, entertained, and emotionally charged while bigger forces move quietly in the background. Is that dramatic? Maybe, but it's also not new. Powerful industries shaping narratives isn't a sci-fi concept. It's media studies 101. Many people have since alleged that when Jim was trying to tell us about secret societies and warning kids not to enter Hollywood, he was actually trying to hint at Epstein and his ring of collaborators. We have nothing but circumstantial evidence to support that argument. But considering how Jim seems to have been replaced all of a sudden right after the files come out, you can't help but feel it does seem a little suspicious, especially considering recent developments. The state of New Mexico has officially reopened a criminal inquiry into Zorro Ranch, the sprawling property once owned by Jeffrey Epstein. This isn't rumor cycle YouTube speculation. This is a state attorney general announcing renewed prosecutorial review.
I'm standing by what used to be Zorro Ranch, Jeffrey Epstein's massive property in New Mexico. And as of now, no one's really investigated exactly what happened here. Zorro Ranch is in Stanley, New Mexico, about 30 miles southeast of Santa Fe, essentially in the middle of nowhere. Epstein owned the property from the early 1990s up until 2023, and some people have accused him and others of wrongdoing at the ranch. Zorro Ranch is mentioned multiple times in the Epstein files, including an account by late survivor Virginia Giuffre.
Many of the survivors had experiences in New Mexico, and as we've learned, there were local politicians and other people that were aware of what was happening in New Mexico. So it's really important that at this point in time, a closer look is taken with respect to that property.
New Mexico State Representatives Andrea Romero and Mariana Anaya put forth a resolution to set up a truth commission on Zorro Ranch. And on Monday, the New Mexico House passed that measure. The bipartisan group will investigate allegations of abuse and trafficking at Zorro Ranch. Epstein died in what was ruled a suicide in a New York jail in 2019 while facing federal charges. When I asked lawmakers why there had never been an investigation into Zorro Ranch before, their big answer was, we don't know.
He was a known sort of gallivanter, ladies' man around town. They called his ranch the Playboy Ranch of Santa Fe. We know very little, if nothing, about, and certainly not a lot that the news has reported on. And what has been reported on is nothing short of alarming. And so for any sense of justice to be had, we have to tell the truth. We have to tell the story of what happened.
Many have alleged that this may have been one of the venues where Epstein purportedly conducted human hunts.
Jeffrey Epstein has leaked emails of people going out and doing hunts. What? Hunting for pleasure. All hunting them like game. The heck? There was actually a woman that's leaking the information of what she said was a Rothschild's hunting trip, right? Wow. And specifically certain types of people too, which makes it even more disturbing. This is to Epstein going to Mean Lana's party now to hunt. Why would you be going to a party to hunt? Snipe hunt is over. Moon crick in a field bag. And then the bottom is so messed up. Look, guess what? Their words. No. Yeah. That's what they're saying in the email. There's speculation they would take a whole bunch of throw them into like a forest on a deserted area enclosed where they can't escape, and they would hunt them like game. And what's even more crazy is what if this was the first step before consumption?
It makes sense.
There's no exact proof yet where these locations were. Okay. And I don't think necessarily it was the island. Yeah. Thanks. Thrilling hunt from Ariane de Rothschild. Amazing old male. Amazing hunt.
What the heck?
She's talking about who she got.
This really makes you wonder why people didn't listen to Jim Carrey sooner. If we had perhaps been more willing to take action, a lot of lives might have been saved. Do you think the Jim Carrey we saw in Paris is still the real one? Let us know in the comments below.